Welcome back to U.S. Farm Report this weekend. Chip Flory joining us for Chip's Corner. Okay, Chip, last year, and even the year before, I remember talking about kind of, hey, could you soon cash in on your carbon intensity score? A lot of talk about 45Z last year at Top Producer Summit. What could that mean for producers? Well, here we are now. There's a lot of confusion about 45Z, what it all means, what impact it'll have on producers. But bottom line, can producers, is there still an opportunity to cash in on your carbon intensity score? That's a question I have. And I know you've been trying to find some clarity on that.
Yeah. The answer is we think so. That's the bottom line. We think that the opportunity is going to be there. We've got a new year. These new incentives are in place, including 45Z. And the Biden administration is starting to deliver some of the guidance that the industry has been looking for. We saw final guidance on 45V, which incentivizes clean hydrogen production. Now, this was final guidance. The preliminary guidance was issued about a year ago on the 45V. So we got the final guidance. The problem here is that we're still waiting for the preliminary guidance on the 45Z. Even though those incentives are going to be available in 2025, we're still waiting on the preliminary guidance. The final guidance might not be available for a full year here, Tyne. So trying to make sense of it, how do we make sure that producers are in a position to be eligible for any 45Z credits that are going to be available? I asked Mitchell Hora from Continuum Ag about that earlier this week on AgriTalk.
It's either going to be a book and claim, which, like I said, kind of like a carbon credit, meaning whatever you did with your corn, if it's from last year, your 2024 crop, if it's still in the bin, you can participate. If your corn got sold and already was fed to pigs, like a lot of the corn down here in my neck of the woods of Washington County, Iowa, or if you don't necessarily sell your corn directly to an ethanol plant, you still would likely be able to qualify with a book and claim because the corn and the data get decoupled. So in order to be ready for that, just keep good records, have good data put together. And obviously that's what we've been doing at Continuum Ag, is helping farmers to do that. But any farmer should just be keeping good records. That's how you're going to be able to create your carbon intensity claim, to be able to actually calculate your score. It all boils down to the data.
Yeah. All boils down to the data, Tyne, which is the story that we've been hearing from people like Mitchell for at least a year, maybe like you said at the start, maybe even 2 years. We've been hearing the same story. We've got to keep the data and documentation of your production practices. That seems to be what is still most critical in putting yourself in a position to potentially claim some of the 45Z incentives.
All right, you can catch Chip Flory twice a day for AgriTalk AM as well as AgriTalk PM. Thanks so much. All right, up next. It was brutally cold this week, and some of you may have decided to stay inside, maybe catch up on a good book. Well, Andrew McCrae next for American Countryside is traveling to a place where you end up in a library that could take you to a whole nother country. That story's next.